Hello, everyone. Iain MacMillan here, and joining me today is the number 8 ranked women's golfer in the world, a two-time LPGA winner, and one of the most dominant college golfers of all time, Rose Zhang. Thank you so much for joining me today, Rose. I want to start off talking about the U.S. Open last week. Some people have come out and talked about the USGA setup of the course. Most notably, I know Angel Yin came out and said that she actually liked it being that difficult. Obviously, only 2 golfers finished under par. I'm curious your thoughts on the USGA setup of the U.S. Open this year. Was it too difficult? Do you like it playing that difficult?
Yeah, so I think it was a true US Open course. It required you to play the best to your ability on all cylinders, from tee to green to short game and putting. Um, I just think that the USGA has always done a really great job in trying to make the course as fair as possible. And, if you're really not playing great, then the course is not fair back to you. So, I do think the USGA did a really good job in, allowing players to play the best that they can, and see and just be around. Being around par is already really good at that golf course. And you really have to grind every single shot, every single putt out, um, and can never leave yourself behind in any situation. Um, and I think that's what the U.S. Open should be. But I think at the same time, a lot of players, I think there were mixed opinions about how difficult it was. I think I go with the flow of things. If it's a difficult golf course, then it's the same thing to everyone else. But it's definitely one of the most difficult ones that I've played thus far.
And I should also mention, Rose, you are joining us on behalf of USWING Eyewear. I want to talk to you about that here in a little bit. I've looked it up. I know you use USWING Eyewear quite a bit. I think I need to get myself a pair. I need all the help I can get on the greens. I'm going to ask you about that in a little bit, but really quick here, I want to rewind things a little bit. Go back to your first win on the LPGA last year at the Mizuho Americas Open, and now it's been a little over a year, actually. The 1 year anniversary of that was just about like last week, a few days ago.
Yep.
I've heard you talk about in that year since that first win, how difficult it is to adjust to the lifestyle of playing on the LPGA. I'm curious if you can dive into that a little bit more, because I don't know if a lot of people understand just how hectic the life of a pro golfer is.
100%. And I think that's the reason why I was a little bit wary and cautious about wanting to turn pro in the first place, just because I didn't know if I was mentally and physically mature enough to be able to come out here, play against the best in the world, but also travel everywhere and do everything in between. What I realized was, especially after Mizuho, a lot of things came. I was running on a high, running on adrenaline, was able to play a couple great events. But once that noise of the media, of sponsorships, of different obligations comes in, and you get tired from the travel, you get sidetracked from, I guess, being able to go through the process of practicing without any exterior noise. That's when you're a lot more vulnerable to not being able to play the best, getting into a little bit of a slump, and learning how to really adjust to time zones, adjust to where you are and at what time. Um, those all play huge factors into the lifestyle of a golfer. I think the health and well-being of a lot of players are compromised just from the travel, being in different parts of the country, the world, and trying to figure out, I guess, how to feel most comfortable to be able to play the best out there. It requires a system that they have to create, and that's what I've been trying to do in this past year, trying to learn inside the ropes, outside the ropes, and understanding what it means to really optimize for performance while taking care of myself. I think that's the biggest thing and the biggest challenge to a lot of the players out here, and the new pros that are going to be coming year after year from here on out.
Now, are you still taking classes at Stanford too, or is that all wrapped up at this point?
Yeah, so I'm currently on a leave of absence just because these next two seasons are a little bit more important and I'm trying to prioritize the golf part a little bit more, but I am continuing to pursue my degree. So I do go back in person every winter quarter. Possibly I'll do a fall quarter here and there um, to continue my degree, but every single time I enter a quarter, I'm going to be taking 20 units. So it's honestly a little bit tiring
Yeah, I bet.
and it requires a little bit of adjusting there, but I might as well.
Now, I want to talk to you about something that's not official yet, so I don't want to jinx anything, but you are in line to represent the United States at the Olympics this year. You've represented your country on the international stage in the past. Just talk to me about how you're feeling about the prospect of competing at the Olympics this summer.
It's honestly crazy and incredible. Obviously, nothing's set in stone. So,
Right.
I'm just trying my best to put myself in an opportunity to be able to do so. But that's all I can do. If things work out, things work out. If things don't, they don't. And I watched the Olympics ever since I was 5 years old, and being able to watch all these sports, watch Michael Phelps, watch Simone Biles, and just all these incredible athletes compete for their country, compete for the red, white, and blue, and just like see how much honor and how much pride they bring to the country. It's honestly such a feeling that I would love to experience. And if I'm given the opportunity, obviously it would be a incredible and humbling experience. But it's still a little bit early to tell. But you just gotta do what you can with it, even though it is a big aspiration of all athletes, not just me.
Now, I mentioned you've already represented the United States before. Once was at the Pan American Games, you won the gold medal as part of the mixed team competition. Is there anything about that experience, especially with winning gold in that mixed team competition, that you can kind of carry to the Olympics if you do end up on the Olympic team this summer?
Yeah, definitely. It's honestly that experience was really cool just because I've never been in Latin America before, let alone play a golf tournament. And just playing for a gold medal feels very different. It's a different experience than playing for, like this crystal trophy, this specific
Right.
trophy given to one winner. You're playing for gold medals, playing for silver, bronze. Like it's honestly so iconic, and I loved every second of it. Had that experience, and obviously is very hungry to be able to do so again.
Now, I want to get back to the LPGA. I'm always curious talking to pro golfers and tour golfers about different courses that they feel like fit their style of play. I know obviously you're only one full year into being on the LPGA, but are there any courses or any events throughout your first year that you're excited to get back to, or maybe one that you've already played twice? Maybe it's Liberty National. Is there a course that you're like, man, this course fits my style of play really well? I'm going to feel confident going into this event every year.
Yeah, so I think I think for me personally, I don't really think about that as much.
Mm,
I think if the fundamentals are there, no matter what golf course you're playing, you can navigate. But there are definitely courses where you just really see it and you just feel a little bit more confident in. It has been Liberty and it's still Liberty. Um, it was just a shame that I wasn't feeling great at all, and some mishaps came up where I wasn't able to defend. But I think going into that event every single year, I'll definitely. It's just such an incredible week that you can do a lot with. Trying to play that difficulty level of a golf course, but also really feel like it's a really good golf course to capitalize on. There's a couple other courses I think throughout the year. I actually really love Evian
mm.
um, for the memories. And it's a very difficult golf course. It gives you probably the worst bounces possible. but you just have to make do with those. And I just remember having really good memories, really fond memories of being there. And I think there's a couple other courses, I think, as throughout the year that really just help with. I guess for me, it's more feeling comfortable. I don't really have
Interesting.
this
Right.
specific. Some people are draw bias players. I am personally. So any courses that allow for a little bit of a draw doesn't hurt.
What about, are there any golf courses at all, even outside the LPGA, that you haven't played that you would love to one day play?
Yeah, it's really interesting. I, to be honest, I'm not exactly a huge golf course nerd, but
Interesting.
I do know that we're playing St. Andrews this year, which
Yeah.
I'm dying to play. Um, I was able to play Muirfield. Just playing links golf is always really fun, even though you're given the worst weather possible in the funniest times. Um, I enjoy. I do wish that I can play a little bit more on the East Coast with couple more big big named courses, but other than that, I think I've been very satisfied. I would love to go back to a couple courses though. I would love to go to Marion. It's my favorite golf course thus far.
Oh,
Um,
interesting.
yeah, it's something I have fond memories of playing the Curtis Cup, and I love the course itself. So, um, and just playing Pebble and Cypress is um, to die for as well.
That's awesome. Well, thanks so much for your time, Rose. Tell me about this USWING eyewear.
Yeah, so I grew up playing in Southern California. Always hated wearing sunglasses just because I felt like they always had some sort of effect on my golf game. So I did have this superstition, but later on, I was basically lectured by my dad saying that if I continue to not wear glasses, then I'll be blind by the time I'm 25. So ended up starting to understand, okay, maybe I should start wearing sunglasses, but what pairs? And USwing has uh, come to my attention where their technology and also the lightwear, how light it is, has really kind of been comfortable for me to wear when I'm out there competing and playing, and I'm not completely ruining my eyes for just a couple rounds of golf. And that really helps.
Yeah, and they look great as well. So I encourage everyone to check out USWING eyewear. Rose, thank you so much for your time today. I really appreciate it, and good luck the rest of the season.